But the situation in Africa looks very grim. The coronavirus may have arrived late in Africa, but it is slowly taking hold with over 20,000 cases and 1,000 deaths across the continent. For the most vulnerable, it's a choice between food or risking infection, be it in South Africa's townships during a harsh lockdown or Kenya's slums, where brave infection to earn a living. More in our next report.
The coronavirus may have arrived late in Africa, but it is slowly taking hold with over 15,000 cases and 800 deaths across the continent. For the most vulnerable, it's a choice between food or risking infection, be it South Africa's township residents who face hunger during severe lockdown, or those living in Kenyan slums risking contracting the disease in order to make money. Residents clashed with police in Cape Town's Mitchell's Plain township as people demand state food parcels. Police fired rubber bullets to disperse protesters who threw rocks as South Africa continues with a hard lockdown. The country has more than 2,500 confirmed infections, the highest number in Africa. There are fears the virus could spread rapidly in its many informal settlements.
This is not animals, this is hungry people. These people are looking just for food. Please, I don't think Ramaphosa is doing something. Why not? Then we can rather die of coronavirus than to die in our homes of hunger.
Rays of Hope, an organisation that works in townships in Johannesburg, has distributed much-needed food to people, many of whom are informal workers currently unable to earn a living.
The big challenge, I was staying at home with the kids, no money, no food, how the kids are like. Every day in the morning, mommy, food, everything,
Meanwhile, authorities have launched a massive testing campaign. Health workers go door to door in townships like Diepsloot in the north of Johannesburg.
This is very important because if you don't test, you don't know if you've got. And then on top of that, you're going to give for the other people. Those other people are also going to give it to the other people. Then all over the place is going to be corona. We're all going to die about it. So it's safe to taste.
Similarly, health workers in Nigeria have been deployed to satellite towns, villages and suburbs around the capital, Abuja. They're carrying out tests and increasing awareness of the virus.
At least it will give me boldness to say that there's nothing wrong with me and to be more careful how I stay close to people or the people I allow coming around me. So that is why I'm here.
The pandemic will plunge the global economy into a recession this year. The G20 has temporarily suspended debt repayments of the world's poorest nations, which will come as a relief to African governments who owe $365 billion. A Congolese activist has praised the debt relief, but now asks how leaders will use the money they're saving.
If these funds are well used, on that condition alone, the people will be able to feel the effects of such a decision.
Wearing masks has become obligatory in some African nations, such as Cameroon, where textile workshops are now solely producing washable and reusable masks. Vendors selling the masks roam the streets of Douala, but not everyone is following the rules. Some people refuse to wear the masks, while others feel they're too expensive.
These masks should not be for sale. They should be shared with all Cameroonians, rich or poor, in every corner of Cameroon, because, given the current crisis, not everyone has the money to pay for masks.
Kenya's poorest residents are facing a desperate choice between hunger and infection. The current nighttime curfew allows people to work in the day, meaning dense crowds pack the streets of Kibera, Kenya's largest slum, where people live from hand to mouth. Social distancing measures meant that Easter celebrations around the world were largely put on hold. Most of the Catholic Church's 1.3 billion faithful were in forced confinement, but in Burundi, churches were filled with parishioners.
He is stronger and more powerful than the coronavirus. That is why we celebrate the one who has the power and strength to heal even those who are sick.
Burundi has played down the dangers of the pandemic, and its football season is also still in full swing. On Saturday, fans gathered to watch 2 matches in the President's Cup at Bujumbura's Intwari Stadium. Life as normal, while the coronavirus pandemic in Africa gathers speed.